Welcome to the After Spin, opinions from thought leaders in our state. I want to ask John Hood and Chris Fitzsimon. We learned this week that the number of students enrolled in district schools has declined 4%, or almost 71,000 students from last year. 8,500 of them enrolled in charter schools, which are still public schools. So the net decline is actually 62,000 students. What's your reaction to this news? Is it a one-time event? And what are the implications for the future? Chris?
Well, I don't think we know yet if it's a one-time event, but clearly evaluating this in the middle of a pandemic when some school systems have been closed this entire time, some have stopped and started, some parents have opted to do different things, homeschool their kids, figure out a different way to do it, not just because, or even because they don't want their kids in district schools, because they are working from home. And there's all sorts of things that are unusual about this era, including sort of a mixed bag about what people think about virtual online learning. Some of the same folks who were saying how great online learning is for virtual charter schools are now complaining that schools aren't open and some kids can't go back. So it definitely isn't a one size fits all. I think it's too early to take stock of what these numbers mean. It's going to be a while before we understand them.
We got 1.6 million kids that are in the K through 12 age group in North Carolina. So 62,000, while it's significant, is not a significant percentage. But I do think it speaks to school choice, don't you, John?
Yes, it's the largest drop, as far as I know, in the history of our state. That doesn't mean it wasn't 20% or some gigantic number, but it was a significant thing. And Chris is right that there's some uncertainty here. But remember, there are a number of employers who have said they're not going to bring all their employees back on site until sometime in 2021. Some have even said 2022, or maybe we'll never bring them all back. And some parents are so frustrated. It's not necessarily that they're against online learning. In some cases, parents have withdrawn their children from public schools, district-run public schools they don't think do online learning well, and enrolled in another school that they think does online learning better. They might be right, they might be wrong. I think some of this will prove fleeting. Some of it will be permanent. We don't know how much will be permanent, but remember that enrollment in K-12 district schools peaked some years ago. It's been declining slowly every year. This was just a bigger decline than we've seen. I think it will continue to decline in future years.
That's my follow-up question. And if that is the case, and we continue to see these kinds of declines, whether this large or not, what does it say for the future of district schools, public schools in North Carolina, Chris?
Well, I don't know. Again, I want to emphasize we're in an unprecedented situation, so we don't know what this means. But if it slightly declines, we have all sorts of reasons, all sorts of things. I don't think it means the district schools aren't doing as well, although I do think they have sometimes been unfairly blamed and attacked for some of the things that they don't do well. We've reduced a lot of support personnel and all the rest of it. We could go on and on and on. I think part of this is a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah, so far as it goes, though, there have been lots of criticisms about public schools and district schools for many, many years, John, and particularly a number of them who are sort of like Henny Penny with the sky falling, saying, we keep this up, and what's going to end up by happening is we're going to end up with kids in our district schools who are harder to educate than traditional kids. Do you think it's that dire?
No, I think that's a misreading of the trends. It's not. It is a combination of different kinds of students who are moving out of district schools and into other schools, including disadvantaged students, students with learning disabilities. It's not at all like that mythology suggests. Right now, we're around 20% of the relevant age group of kids who are not in district schools. That'll probably be 25% in a few years or shorter. In other words, most kids will continue to be attending district-run public schools for many years. But that share that is not is growing, and it's significant, and it's diverse, and it's difficult to summarize it in a single sentence.
Interesting. Well, it's a great topic, and I'm sure it's something we'll be talking about in the future. Thank you for watching the After Spin. We'll have more video all during the week on ncspin.com.